And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the June 27th edition of Makers and Movers podcast. First up, you have to let me know how the sound is. I'm pretty sure Mike took correctly this time, but hey, this is where I need your guys' help to make sure that the sound is coming through so I can see that. Now, if it's your first time here or long time here, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. That's what we need for today. And today, we're gonna talk about some merch stores because I don't know about you, but I really do hate feeling pushy when we're talking about our merch stores. So in this episode, we're gonna kind of break down how you can confidently sell Spirit Or without sounding like a sales robot. So no scripts, no hard closes. Just some strategies for showing up and helping your people, and then really making them making the sale feel natural, like it should be. So what to say instead of hey, let me know if you need shirts. How to make your offer about them. The one sentence that kind of turns that cold lead warm. Why your process is your best sales pitch, and then how we can sell them without sounding like a salesperson. So I think if you're ready to land more stores and more bulk orders and more trust without turning into that walking billboard, I think this one's going to be for you. So all your stuff down there. What we're doing? Oh, your daily five. Sometimes I forget about that. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? So for us, I've got follow-ups because we weren't in the office. I was half in the office, half out of the office yesterday with Corey surgery. So I got back to some people following up with things today. We've got DTF that needs to get done. Uh, I've got I've got some pretty big meetings lined up this afternoon, which is wild of what we've got planned out. And then start on a banner order, make sure everything's good with that, and finish up some sticker orders. So that's what we got rocking and rolling today. Love to hear what you have rocking and rolling today. And remember, sharing's caring. Go hit that share button, put this everywhere you can, because not all the times does this get out where it should end up at. And that's why we need your help. Morning, Jerry. Morning, all. It sounds peachy. Great. And Connie says, sounds good. Sweet, 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 sweet. So thank you to everybody who reached out yesterday, with text messages, Facebook messages, DMs, Instagram. Like we had a good amount of messages. Thank you for that for Corey's surgery. Went great. She's recovering. She had her elbow redone yesterday. And so, yeah, it was, you have that whole process of just the waiting and the waiting and the waiting. I think we were there 8:45 in the morning, and surgery didn't happen until close to 11:30. And surgery only took about a half hour, and then by the time recovery and got out of there, it was 2 o'clock ish. So it was a long day. It was a long day for something that was just a quick little surgery. She's recovering. She's in pain. Perfect timing right before the holidays coming up. But she has plans, and she wanted to have it taken care of before those plans. So that's what we're doing. Everything went well there. So she's doing very well on it. On my end, I actually I had some meetings yesterday that I took from the parking lot while I was doing it, and we have some big things that are happening that by the fall. And one of the things is this show might be moving to another platform, to another person's channel, another business's channel. That was talked, in just content creation style things of what we can do with it. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. We'll still be live on there, but we can't have the same live on 2 YouTube channels. So the only way that we can do that and keep everything there is one has to go and one has to stay. So this just might move over there. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Also trying to partner up with a few places on different products for it. I am getting the footprint of the smallest DTF printer that American Print Supply has. So once we know what they have, we know that they have it, but they're measuring out to see what you actually need it for. Because I got asked about, hey, what would you recommend for a small printer? And desktops are completely out for me. I wouldn't recommend those. And you're going to spend 15, 20 grand on it. Make sure that you're getting something that it's going to be good, going to be serviced well, going to be taken care of. So working through that. And then we've got some other design software things that we're meeting with on designers. We've got what else is there today? There's marketing team that we're meeting with on how that follows up. We're meeting with content creation to see how that's following up. We're meeting with a developer for a new app that we're working on to see how if that's going to play, and then somebody else about business opportunity. So big days all the way through there. Thanks, Jerry. And I think a lot of you are gonna like on some of the moves, some people already know. On some of them, only a handful of people know, and on some of them, there's like a circle of like three people that know, and those are kind of the big ones where if it doesn't happen with us, it's going to happen with somebody else. We really can't, dive into details until the ink's on the paper, so to say. And we're hoping to get some of that more information today and start know something next week. Next week, short week. Friday is my head just went to St. Patrick's Day, and I have no clue why. Next Friday is 4th of July, so we will be closed. Shows next week only be Monday, Wednesday, so keep that in mind. And keep that in mind with, anything that you need to have delivered. Friday's a holiday, so, keep that in mind with what you come up to. And as always, we have our affiliate links down in the bottom. Any of the links to our stuff, go check those out. Affiliate links are free. They help keep the lights and mics on, and we appreciate you using those. So let's just dive right into it. Like I said, as you get in here, if you're watching Team Replay, comment Team Replay. If there's something that you question as through this, put it in there and help us go with it from there. Because the object of this today's talk is for you to be able to sell spirit wear without sounding salesy. Because, let's be real, most of us didn't start our business because we love selling. All right. And when it comes to spiritware, it can feel even trickier because you're just not pitching the product. You're talking to coaches, you're talking to team moms, you're talking to principals, talking to PTO presidents, and small business owners who are already overwhelmed and underpaid. But the good news is you don't have to be salesy to sell spiritware. In fact, the more you focus on being helpful instead of persuasive, the easier it gets. So this is going to be we're going to be talking about shifting that conversation from buy my stuff to let me make your life easier. Yeah. All right. And so we got 5 ways that we're going to do that. So number one is we are going to lead with the problem. We are going to lead with the problem, not the product. So what does that mean? Well, before you talk about what you sell, talk about what they're struggling with. Coaches don't want to chase down checks. PTOs don't want to front the money for 200 shirts. Parents don't want to deal with confusing order forms. So the moment you start the conversations with their pain, you position yourself as the solution, not a salesperson. You're not just offering t-shirts, you're solving real headaches for them. So instead of saying, hey, I can make shirts for your team, try, hey, want help with an online store that parents can order from directly so you don't have to collect anything? Hey, that puts us in helper mode. So, talk with different people. A PTO president had told me that she not only said yes because our email started with, I know how frustrating fundraising can be. What if we handle all the merch for you? Right? And we were like, here, we know that's an issue with it. We've seen it years and years where people have just spent on spare and they've had dead products sitting there because they bought in bulk and they really didn't make any money with it. You know, something else is when we're talking with coaches, some of them didn't even realize that doing spiritware could be so easy until, we told them, you don't have to do anything but approve the designs. We take care of the rest for them. So they don't have to chase checks. They don't have to decipher handwriting. They don't do anything. We take care of that for them. Just, yep, what logos do you want to use? And we do the rest for it. So to go with this one, here's what we need to do is it's just one line. I just need you to write one line that you feel describes the biggest problem that your ideal client is facing. And then just use that in your next post, your next DM, or your next sales pitch for it. Okay. Next up, why don't we start positioning our stores as a service and not a sale? Because the magic of spiritware isn't in apparel. It's in the experience you offer. We're giving teams, clubs, groups, an organized, hands-off system that helps them raise money. It helps them build identity, and it saves them time. And that it really is a service worth promoting. When you focus on how you help instead of what you sell, it shifts the tone completely. So instead of pushing products, you're offering relief, you're offering simplicity, you're offering support. You become the behind the scenes hero, and they don't feel sold to, they feel supported. So I know somebody whose entire pitch is, we build online stores so you never have to chase money, checks, sizes, or parents again. That's just it, right? That line alone, you know, will land you store after store after store. So let me say that again. We build online stores so you never have to chase checks, sizes, or parents again. It's pretty simple, right? And another part of this in their emails, you say, we handle all the logistics so you can on your event, not your merch. You can change this because on how it fits them and not the shirts. We handle all the logistics so coaches can coach. We can do this so you're not focused on that. So look at your pitch and let's see, can we rewrite your pitch to focus on the experience or the outcome that we're going to give them? You know, what do they get to stop doing if they work with you? All right. What do they get to do so they stop? So, what do they get to stop doing if they work with you? And except, hey, let's just let our process do the talking for us, right? Sometimes the reason we feel salesy is because we keep over explaining, right? Let's just keep it simple. Our process is the pitch. When we clearly outline how easy it is, how fast it moves, and how little they need to do, it becomes obvious why they'd say yes. You know, walk them through, um, walk them through it like this. Hey, you just got to approve the designs. We build the store. We collect the payments. You get the check, and that's it. The simpler it sounds, the faster that they buy into it. You know, maybe you create, just that one-page graphic labeled, our four-step Spiritwear setup. you know, uh, you can go ahead and give that to a booster club, presidents, so that way they can share it at the meetings. You could book new clients that way because they're able to see, oh, we only have to do this. That's it. There's nothing there. Maybe in all of your socials, let's see about keeping a store link so that way people can go through it and see it. Do you have a landing page? Do you have a product pitch? Do you have something there for them to go look and see so it sells without you even having to sell? I forgot about today's drink. What's in your cup today? The Astro Vibe, Blue Raz Edition. My mouth is getting a little dry. All right. So for this, let's go through and let's write out our process. Plain English, everybody can understand it. 3 to 5 steps. And let's make sure that we're using that in emails, in reels, DMs, posts, anywhere we can. We want to make our system, our process feel really friction free for them. We are at the end of June. We have schools starting back to school the last week of July. We have already met with them. We've already got things in plan for it, and we're already setting up for fall. We just started that, in fact, in May. So we need to get ahead of this now if we want to start growing things and doing things. Let's check in and see what we got before we move on to tip four. It looks like, quiet bunch this morning. Christine, good morning to you. Jerry says, don't like to be salesy. Appreciate all the tips. Yeah, and we're not. We're just selling our service, right? That's what we do. I don't know. Maybe did I put a wrong link somewhere? I could have when everything was setting up. Tim's probably on a live somewhere. Um, what do they get to stop doing if they work with me? Stop worrying about all the paperwork. Yep, coaches can coach. That's the thing. Parents can parent. They're not messing around with other parents trying to find money and stuff. And Jerry says, always yummy cinnamon tea in the cup. All right, Jerry's got that rocking. So number four, let's use stories and not sales pitches, right? Because people trust stories. When you share a quick story about how another school raised money, hey, how a coach saved time, or how a team loved their gear and they didn't have to do anything. It creates that that connection without pressure. It makes it sound more like a conversation than a pitch. The goal is to make them see themselves in that story, and that's where the bulb goes off. Like, oh, we could do that too. So some examples is a decorator shared a post about how the small town marching band raised $800 in 1 week with just four shirt options. That story gets shared and it lands two other band programs. Not bad, right? They all stick together. Another one posted a quick reel showing boxes of Spiritwear, getting packed for a soccer team. With the caption, "This team didn't have to touch a single order, just got a check at the end. Want one too?" So it's no hard sell. It's just the results. Here's the stuff that's they got. They got a check. They didn't have to do anything. Right? So here's what we can do: is let's pick one recent store or client we had and story this week. What problem they had, what you did, and what the outcome was. Not bad, not bad at all, right? And now for the final one, let's be the easiest yes that they'll get all week, right? Now, at the end of the day, people don't want to choose the best vendor. They choose the simplest path to a win, right? They say that right. They don't want to choose the best vendor. They want to, yeah, yeah. They want to be because a lot of times the best vendor may not get the job, right? It's just how it works. If your process is smooth, your tone is confident, and your offer is clear, they'll pick you, even if you're more expensive. Why? Because you're easier to say yes to. You don't need gimmicks. You don't need, fear of missing out. You don't need flash sales. You just need to show up like a pro who makes life easier for them. When people feel like you have already, that you've already have it handled, they don't have to do anything. They don't need any convincing. They're pretty relieved at that. You know, somebody said her favorite client told her that they picked her because she answered all their questions before they even asked them. And that's what clarity does. We answer all those questions before they even ask them. Another sent a simple message says, I've got your store mock-up ready. If you want to see it, no pressure." And that one line landed her school's entire booster club, right? Because they just sent something, they did it. So what do we want to do with this? Look at your last three pitches. Were they confusing? Were they too long? Or too focused on you? Right? Edit those for clarity. Focus on the ease. Focus on them and solving their problem. And make saying a yes feel like a relief to them. So to wrap this all up, what are we doing? Helping first, sell second. You don't have to beg, you don't have to manipulate, and you definitely don't have to feel like a used car salesman. All right. You're offering something that's going to help real people solve real problems, and that is always worth sharing on it. To recap, we're going to start with their problem, not the product. We are going to sell the experience, not just the gear. We're going to let our process build confidence. We're going to use stories to connect, not pressure. And we are going to be the easiest yes that they'll get all week. Because we're not just selling spiritware, we're making life easier. We're making it more organized. We're making it more profitable. And at the end of the day, we are helping the people that we serve. Just lead with that. And the sales are going to take care of themselves. That is what I got for you. I would love to hear your questions, comments, concerns about this. And then we'll talk about next week and what's going on. Hey, so we're going to focus on spiritware here for a little while. I need to know what your thoughts on the different process of it. Are you offering embroidered products? That's going to be a question we're asked. Are you offering upsells? So do you have a single color design? Do you have a two color design? Do you have a full color design? Do you have a rhinestone design? Do you have? What are your other things with that? We're going to talk about, what's keeping you from selling those products. And sometimes people won't sell a product because one, they don't make it. Okay, let's talk about outsourcing. They won't sell it because yes, we can outsource it, but we need minimums. Okay, how can we battle that? Where we ran that into is, embroidery. We now have an amazing contract embroiderer. We actually have a couple of them. We have one that we can do single items with. Yes, we're paying more for it, but that's what we base our pricing off of, so we're fine with it. Another one is like rhinestone designs. Great when you're doing a few, but what happens when you're doing, 25 of them? It's a lot to do, right? It can be a pain. So talking about how we can do that. There's a lot of things that we can help with that. Are there other products that we can offer just other than apparel? When we look at Spiritwear as a whole, can you umbrellas, tumblers, stadium chairs? What are some other things that people will use that you're able to do? We are more than just shirts. So we're going to keep that conversation flowing there, and you do love to hear, the struggles that you're having or things that you want to talk about because you help us about that. Let's see. Oh, Barb's checking in here. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 59, cloudy, water in the cup. Five things, quotes, 5x7 ad for FD cookbook, 3D printing, customer pickups, prep for inbound company. Is that next week for the holiday? I know a lot of people who are their last day is today and they won't reopen until that Monday. They take the week of 4th of July off. Have to watch from the beginning. We'll be here. Morning, Barb. Great to see you. And it's about your machine. Ooh, I haven't seen anything. Ooh, I haven't seen anything. Ooh, I posted in Discord with the pictures. I haven't even checked this morning. And what are they talking about? If you are in our private mentorship community, guess what? We have our own platform over in Discord that is coming along, getting switched over. The OGs will always have that. New people will go into the new platform for things. So, you can check that out and sign up below for that. With that, we have calls every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, providing it's not a holiday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we're not 8:30, excuse me, 9:30 for that. So after this call, I will go set that up so we can do it in there. I should be good to go because I think timing and everything is good on meetings to not have to get out of there sooner. But that's what we got today. All right. That's it. I got to get some stuff done, get followed up, get rolling on the day. Mentorship call in about 38, 37 minutes. So we will see everybody there. You guys have a great weekend. Get out there and enjoy it. Try and stay cool if you're in one of the places like here where it's going to be like 100 degrees all weekend and just not fun. But for the most part, peace, love, press on. We will see you next time.